when there are post losses, it means it doesn't add more to the country's economic. You'll be surprised that agriculture adds about 2.3% to our GDP, which is bad. We might think that agriculture is adding a lot, but there's a little percentage that agriculture is adding because most of this stuff is lost in the process. Gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted. If every time you have looked about when Jesus was feeding the 5,000 people, if every time you always think, okay, God will provide, no. There was also, let nothing be wasted. So meaning you're supposed to be what? Responsible. Every harvest has a purpose. There's no way you farm and then you'll be like, I'm just farming for the sake of farming, or you're doing something for the sake of doing something. No, there's a purpose why you're doing what you're doing. The challenge. Mostly, it's about inadequate storage facilities. But my observation, I have 3 main observations, which is limited preservation knowledge. Most of our farmers, they have limited knowledge about preservation. For them, is harvest, go and sell, make the profit, the chain continues. And the other thing that I normally see where I'm coming from at the market is the market constraints. Most farmers lack this market link. You'll find everyone comes on a Monday, but there's Wednesday market and Friday market. So you'll find that when everyone comes on the Monday, there's a lot of food that is being wasted. If they can come up with a schedule, but one thing I'll tell you, no matter how much you preach, no matter how much you come up with this app, not every farmer will adapt to that. So it's our responsibility to come in and see how well we can engage. For example, I go to the market, I buy some of these products at a large scale, and I dry them, and then some of them they're there. And the other thing, it's climate change. Climate change in the sense that last year it was too hot. Some of the products were lost, especially in the fields of southern part. The heat was just too much. It was reaching 40%, so most of the harvest was lost. Some dried, some made it to the market, but most of them were lost. The prevention strategies, the solar dryers, silos, farmers market link like I mentioned, and quality seed. Have you ever bought a good-looking red paper, but inside you find there's an insect? Some seeds are not well processed, so you need to get quality seeds. What's our solution at the Urban Botanical Hub? I adopted solar drying. Why? We are using solar radiation to remove this moisture. It's low cost, it's efficient, it's high quality, and hygienic. The photo, it shows inside the solar dryer at home. Sorry, I couldn't come with it. And then it's environmental friendly. The things that are being dried in this solar dryer, there are no preservatives that are added. They're just dried naturally. Less labor. Let me tell you, a solar dryer is less labor compared to an electric dehydrator. An electric dehydrator needs a lot of attention. But a solar dryer, you can cut your products, put them inside, close it up, and maybe in the evenings, that's when you check. But an electric one, you have to put a timer. You have to be checking most of the times. And then it reduces spoilage. So why does this matter? Why does this matter to us at the Urban Botanical Hub? It matters because wasting what God provides dishonors his abundancy. Preservation is a gratitude and a responsibility for all of us. Impact on stewardship. Preservation, for me, it's a stewardship. Solar drying is not just a technical fix, not that we're solving this, but it's a form of stewardship. If most of us here can adapt to this, meaning that we'll have enough food in store. Yes, we can't feed the whole nation, but at least we'll have something. Economic stewardship. If farmers can adapt this solar drying, they'll increase their revenue stream, and they'll also have food which will help with food security. By now, you should know that Zambia is food insecure. Creation care. We are reducing waste. Because most of these times, there's a day I went to the market, I found there was a lot of lemons. I don't know where that farmer came from, but he had a lot of lemons and they were already yellow. So I bought a lot. By the time I was going in the evenings, I found that some of it just went to waste. A wise man saves for the future, but a foolish man spreads whatever he gets. So, are you going to be a wise man or a foolish man? What do we do at the Urban Botanical Hub? We encourage people to build low cost. The first photo shows a low cost. This low cost, mostly you can use it during your summertime. Off summertime, it's not recommended because mostly the water might be getting inside. But the high cost, these are, we call them hybrid solars. They'll have a solar panel, they'll have a DC fan inside, they'll have LED lamps, which can run the whole day, even in the night. But also during the rain season and cold season, you can still dry your products. And then promote value addition. I dry most of the things which are there. Some can be made, you can make powder. I didn't have much time, I only made the tomato powder. You can see it after the presentation. And then I'm still coming up with more recipes on how well we can address these losses. Then research and development. We continue to research and come up with solar dryers that are convenient, that are affordable, that most of us can afford. Solar drying is not just a practice of good stewardship. Solar drying is a practice of good stewardship because it's not just fixing post-harvest losses, but it's helping with our food security. Call for action. I always say this. Spoilages is reduced by 60% and revenue streams are created when you're using solar dryers. I'm not saying when you have a solar dryer, you will become rich just there and there. No. You are reducing the spoilage rate, and at the end of the day, you will have some revenue streams. Scaling up, calling others in solar drying and other post-harvest losses. There are other methods that people use, but for me, I chose solar drying because it's something that most of us can understand and can build and can at least afford. There is also freezing and other method, but I chose this. And then looking at the climate where I'm coming from, starting from August, maybe up to November, it's a hot climate. So whatever is produced that time, if you're able to save up, you dry them, you will use them during the rain season and the cold season. Then partner with farmers. Like I said, no matter how much you come up with technologies, apps, not every farmer will adapt to that. There are farmers who don't have phones. They just come to the market. They know Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's market day, so I must take my crops. They don't even ask what's there, nothing. They'll just bring. So if we can partner with farmers, I have a few farmers who I talk to. If you have excess, please call me so that I come and get it. Then I dry. It benefits both of us, the farmer and me. I've bought his harvest and I'll dry it and generate revenue stream. So both of us have solved a problem. Building networks, such as churches, schools like the SCU, the Njole campus, having a solar dryer. Some of your products like the cherry tomatoes, the yellow peppers, can be dried, they can be turned into tomatoes, and you add more value to it. In conclusion, addressing post-harvest losses, it's not just an agricultural imperative. It's a moral and a spiritual one. When hunger hits us, we won't say it's agriculture. All of us will complain. So, it is a moral and a spiritual one. We must honor God by reducing these post-harvest losses. Imagine if these methods were adapted. We can save up more. I'm not saying we'll solve this whole big problem, but we can at least solve part of the problem. Join in the mission, train, preserve, invest, and advocate for solar drying. He who gathers crop in summer is a bound son. Proverbs 10, verse 5. Thank you.